We are hearing Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday I was not fully sure about the verse because one line is very similar to another, so I became a little confused. The verse is Ananyas Chintayantamam Jejana Parjopasate Tesham Nitya Bijuktanam Yoga Kema Bahamyaham. In 9th chapter. But in 10th it will come Tesham Satata Juktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Jogam Tam Me Yena Mam Upayantite. So this Tesham Nitya Bijuktanam or Tesham Satata Juktanam is similar, so I became a little confused. So now we are hearing 9th chapter, verse 22. I supply the daily necessities, taking all possible care for the upkeep of those persons who are steadfastly attached to me and who worship me with single-minded devotion, meditating constantly on my lotus feet. Explanation. O Arjuna, do not think that the above fruit seekers enjoy pleasures, those who want to go to heaven, and that my devotees suffer pain. My devotees always think of me with unsullied, single-minded devotion. They accept all things that are favorable to my service and reject those that are detrimental thereto. So they are eternally linked with me by the tie of devotional love. They consecrate their all in all to me without seeking any fruit therefrom. I supply all that is needful for them, viz. Their daily necessities, and take all possible care for their upkeep. The thing is that though there is a semblance in the enjoyment of sense objects between my devotees and the fruit seekers, there is a gulf of difference between their respective modes of living. Outwardly, you will not see much difference. Karmis, they eat, devotees also eat, but there is difference. My devotees have surrendered everything to me, and it is my duty to bestow on them and preserve carefully what they are in need of. The special advantage of my devotees is that after enjoying the sense objects in a spirit of perfect dispassion, means they're honoring Krishna's prasad, not to enjoy, but to serve Krishna. Krishna is giving his prasad, so devotees they are taking to satisfy him. They are blessed with the eternal bliss when they are seeing Diti, when they are hearing devotional songs, when they are taking prasad, all this sense enjoyment, through this sense enjoyment, which is actually service to Krishna, they are getting transcendental bliss. But karmis, they will get some temporary pleasure and then suffering. Eternal bliss, which the fruit mongers are always deprived of, they cannot get. On the other hand, the pratika worshippers, that is demigod worshippers, after enjoying their celestial pleasures, come back to this world of action and again hanker after a lot of ephemeral pleasures. They know not what eternal bliss is due to their ignorance. Though indifferent to all temporal things, I am deeply attached to my devotees, and I feel delight in helping them in all possible ways. You see, I am unconcerned with this world, but devotees, they serve me, so I also am with them. I I take pleasure in helping them. That is love. I feel delight in helping them. Not like troublesome. He feels happy. They want nothing but my favor, for which I am bound to supply their wants. They only want the service of Krishna, nothing else. Even Gurudev told many times, even if you take shelter of one human being in this world, take shelter and only serve him without demanding anything. Even he will not remain silent after a few days. He will start to give you cloth, food, everything. So why not Supreme Lord? If one will really take shelter of him and only serve him without demanding anything, then automatically everything will come. They worship me with steadfast attachment and unswerving faith, unmindful of personal comforts and necessities of life. So they must have their requirements personally attended to by myself. One person said to Parangurudev, I don't believe this verse. Krishna is not taking care of me. Then Parangurudev said, there are some conditions here in this verse. So you tell me how your daily life is going on. So finally Parangurudev could see that he is not exclusively devoted to Krishna. He's sometimes going this demigod, that, and these things. So he said, here Krishna said, one who only thinks of me. Ananyas chintayanto mam. I am the object of worship. Jejana parjupasate, and he is worshipping me. Tesham nitabijuktanam, always and with everything. Then if you meet these criterion, these conditions, then Krishna will take care of you. But if you don't, then why he will take care of you? And Krishna gives what is necessary. If he gives more, then devotees, they will distribute to others, because they have no desire for any sense enjoyment. What is required for their service, this is one kind of sadhana. 8 limbs out of 64 limbs of sadhana, devotees, they will not accept more nor less than what is required for their upkeep and for their service of Krishna. They are not sense enjoyers because they have no that desire. They only desire service of Krishna. And Krishna is helping them to meet that. Of course, there are degrees of devotees. So according to one's dedication to Krishna, Krishna will also reciprocate accordingly. And you know, there is one history, one Brahmin was there. He also did not believe this verse, and he, with pencil, he put line there on this verse. But Krishna ultimately, you know the story, Krishna ultimately personally came in Balaram and brought food to that person's house. And wife was there. And they told Krishna Balaram, your husband, he beat us so much. Then when he came back home, then wife was scolding Arjuna Mishra, why you were beating those boys? So I was not beating. No, they told me you were beating. Then he understood, oh, I put that line. I did not believe that Krishna actually personally comes. I always thought it is possible maybe he can send by some instrument, but personally he will not bring. That is not true. This verse that is not true. But Krishna showed him it is true. I personally come. Like Madhavendra Puri. And someone will think that is only for ascetics. No, it is for household devotees also. You can see Shrivas Pandit. And whatever is required, even by household devotee, if household devotee requires job, Krishna will give him that job, if he requires. If that devotee is fully surrendered to Krishna, and that is his requirement at that time, Krishna will give. Krishna is seeing everything. He's in our heart. We cannot cheat him. But one who will sincerely worship, now soon this verse will come. If someone will sincerely worship him, Krishna will also be for him. He will help him always. Jepyanya devata bhakta yajante shradhayanvitaha tepimam eva kaunteya yajanti avidipurvakam. O son of Kunti, those who are worshippers of other minor gods with faith, worship me indeed, without prescribed rules. Explanation. In fact, I am the Supreme Lord of all being, intelligence and bliss. Satchidananda. There is none superior or equal to me. No God can exist independent of me, means demigod. I am the transcendental principle of Satchit Ananda. Those that worship other gods, such as the sun, Indra, etc., with a devout heart and full of faith, also worship me, O son of Kunti, though contrary to divine law, because they, being deluded by the influence of my Maya, do not know that those minor gods are the different manifestations of my Mayic potency in the mundane plane and are entirely dependent on me. Those who worship them as such are law-ordained worshippers and are eligible to further spiritual progress. But those who, knowing them to be eternal and independent of me, worship them without ordinance or prescribed law, are therefore deprived of the eternal bliss derived only from my direct worship as the Lord of all lords and the God of all gods. So different conceptions are there, even for demigods. They think something they are independent, or there are many gods, supreme lords like this. So many different misconceptions. So they will not get eternal bliss by such worship. They may gradually advance further, gathering Sukriti and like this, and then by the grace of pure devotees they can get to the service of Krishna. But there are some who are also worshipping or serving demigods, but in proper way, like in our Mayapur, the Shiva is there, Kshetrapal. So as a Vaishnava, they will offer him prasad of Radha Madan Mohan, that is proper, and praying for the grace of pure devotion. Also Kali and all demigods, they have two faces. They are, in one side they are devotees, we can pray to them for the service of Krishna. Another side they are like demigods fulfilling the desires of those worshippers. So devotees always they respect demigods and pray to them for causeless devotion to Krishna, knowing they are his servants and Krishna is object to worship. In that sense, that is okay. That will be proper. But those who are on that level, then they cannot get eternal bliss yet. That is possible only when we serve Supreme Lord for his satisfaction. Aham hi sarva yagyanam bhokta cha prabhur eva cha natumam abhijananti Tatvena taschavanti te. Gurudev used to say this verse many times. Because I am the enjoyer as well as the Lord of all sacrifices, and because they are quite ignorant of the true knowledge of my real self, they degrade themselves again to the mundane plane. So we have to accept, Gurudev told, Aham hi sarvaya jnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. Krishna is the only enjoyer and only master. One who accepts this and all are to be enjoyed by him, he can be in peace. But if someone thinks, I am the enjoyer, I am the master, then impossible to have peace. Because it is untrue and unnatural. Explanation: I am the enjoyer as well as the Lord of all sacrifices. Those who worship other gods, knowing them to be eternal and independent of me, are known as pratika worshippers. They are quite ignorant of the true knowledge of my real self, and thus deviated, they degrade themselves to the lower plane of the three dimensions on account of their unprincipled and untenable worship. They may be endowed with bliss, provided they worship me as the ultimate reality and the minor gods as my subordinate agents with powers delegated to function in their respective spheres. That knowledge they can get by the grace of pure devotees. We see also in Arati, Mahaprabhu, Brahma Adi Deva Gona, they are Arati Korena Brahma Adi Deva Gona. Brahma Adi Devagon, all demigods headed by Brahma, they are doing worship of Mahaprabhu. And Shiva, Shuka, Narad, also Premigadeva, they are singing the glories of Supreme Lord and feeling that prema. So if one sees in this way, then they can get eternal bliss. That is pure vision of demigods. They are his servants, and they got some powers from Supreme Lord for administration of this world. And they are doing service of Krishna by this. Yanti Deva Vrata Devan Pitrin Yanti Pitri Vrataha Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja Yanti Mam Yajinopimam. The worshippers of other gods, of ancestors, and of the elements go forth to them respectively, while my devotees who worship my eternal transcendental reality come unto me. There are some who say, whatever you do, everything is same goal. Whatever you do, it will lead you to same goal. But it is not true. Here Krishna is saying, if you will worship demigods, you will go to them. If you will worship Pitris, ancestors, you will go to them. And if you worship ghosts and evil spirits and all this, you will go there. But those who will worship me, they will come to me. So different destinations, because different paths. Not all paths are leading to same goal. Explanation: I am the reality. The gods have no reality apart from me. So worshippers of other gods, independent of me, attain non-real or ephemeral result of their worship. As is the worship, so is the fruit. Yes. I am the impartial dispenser of fruits of man's actions, devotional or non-devotional. Karma nivdikarastema paleshu kadachan. We have right to do action, this or that. But fruit is given by Krishna to everyone, according to their action. And there is no mistake. And it may take some time before you get the fruit. Krishna knows when he will give certain fruit. I am the impartial dispenser. Impartial. Not that I will give to Indians more and to Americans less. No, according to action, they will get. Because that verse will come soon, you will hear. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Whatever is offered to me by a devotee who is self-controlled, be it a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, if offered with a loving and sincere heart, is acceptable to me as a gift of love with great pleasure. Explanation. But I refuse to accept heaps of articles, however precious they may be, if offered by the worshippers of other gods, for the simple reason that they have no real love for me, and that they do so out of their pompous show and traditional faith in me. Not actual, but worldly, like, because it is social, like that Laukika Shraddha and Tattvika Shraddha. There are two different. So this is traditional faith in me. The worship of the lesser deities, being an indirect and unshastric mode of worship, is condemned by me, inasmuch as devotees of these demigods cannot approach me, the Supreme Lord, with their imperfect knowledge of me, to whom even a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or a drop of water is acceptable as the most covetable offering, if made with loving devotion. And I readily enjoy these offerings as gifts of love. So the article is not the important, the pomp and everything. You know, Krishna was invited by Duryodhana to his house, and he made so many nice food preparations to offer to Krishna. But he had some political motive behind, and Krishna knows everything. So when he came to his house, he said, I am not hungry, how I can eat? If person is not hungry, it is not possible for him to eat. So he did not accept. But just after that, he came to the house of Vidur, who was not at home at that time, Vidurani. His wife was there. They were very poor. Vidur had to beg. But they are devotees. So Vidurani was very happy that Krishna came, but she was worried what I will offer to him. Then she saw some bananas, and with great haste, and Krishna immediately said, I am so hungry, you give me something. But just a few minutes before, he was not hungry at all. Now suddenly he became very hungry. Why? Because devotee is there. So she was so much in that ecstatical mood that she was not aware that she was giving banana peels. She wanted to peel banana and give banana to Krishna, but she was peeling and they gave peel instead of banana to him, and Krishna was eating peels. And Vidur then saw. Then he wanted to chastise his wife. Why you are giving this? because he's also servant of Krishna, devotee. But Krishna stopped him. No, no, don't worry. I'm not eating the article. I'm eating the love. So Krishna is accepting the love of his devotees. So it doesn't matter whether it is very gorgeous or it is simple or whatever. According to devotees' capacity, he will offer. So Krishna here says, my worship is very simple. For demigod, you need many things. But Krishna says, even leaf that everyone can get, water everyone can get, flower everyone can get. Water, fruit, flower, a leaf. So anyone can gather these articles, and if he will offer with love to Krishna, then he will be very happy to accept as a gift of love. Like Sridhar Pandit, very poor, but he fully satisfied Mahaprabhu. Yat karoshi yat ashnasi, yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi konteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. O son of Kunti, whatever you do, eat, sacrifice, bestow as gift and perform as austerity, consecrate them all to me. Explanation. In this connection, then there are some verses here quoted of different verses of Gita and Bhagavatam, the purport of which is that none need fear the binding nature of any action if it is done as an offering to the Supreme Lord in the spirit of true renunciation or dispassion. O son of Kunti, the four classes of mixed devotees, viz. Artha, Jigyasu, Arthartin, and Gyanin, we heard those who have Sukriti, they are distressed, inquisitive, desirous of some worldly money or like this, and Gyani. So these four, and the three kinds of worship, viz. Ahamgraha, self-worship, I am Brahma. Pratika, worshippers of demigods, and Vishwarup worshippers. The four kinds of yogas with Sakama karma, Nishkama karma, Jnana and Ashtanga. Sakama means with some desires. Nishkama karma means without any desires. Jnana and Ashtanga and the true nature of pure devotion have been dealt with. Now determine your position and duty among them. As a true hero of righteousness, you always incarnate with me when I descend here as a partner of my deeds. You are neither an impartial Shanta, means neutral, nor a Sakama Bhakta, fruit seeker. So you are to follow Nishkama Karma Jnana Mishra Bhakti, that is to say, devotion intermixed with action and knowledge, but without any desire for the fruits thereof. In that case, your duty will be this: whatever you do, eat, sacrifice, bestow austerity, or penance you perform, consecrate them to me. In vain do the fruit seekers offer their actions to me from their traditional faith with an ulterior motive. But you are not a fruit seeker. As a devotee, you should, therefore, perform your duties, leaving their results to me. So here, whatever you do does not mean like whatever you do. killing animals or like whatever you do, I'm doing for Krishna. No, that is not. Whatever you do means according to your status in Varna, Ashram, Dharma. Vaishyas, they have to do these things. Shudras, this thing. Kshatriya, Arjuna is Kshatriya, so he has to do whatever you do. Means Kshatriya, that duty you offer to me. And what you eat, what you do sacrifice, and what you give, and you austerity according to that, everything you do it for me. Not desiring any result for yourself, for enjoyment, but you will get prasad, Krishna's prasad. So, this, as a devotee, you should therefore perform your duties as a kshatriya, leaving the results to me. That is Nishkama Karma, Jnana Mishra Bhakti. But Mahaprabhu said this is also external in Raya Ramananda. Means Raya Ramananda was answering to Mahaprabhu. That is also external. Karma Arpan. Then higher stages also there. Shubha Shubha Phalair Evam Mokshya Se Karma Bandhanai Sannyasa Yoga Juktatma Vimuktamam Upaishyasi. Higher than this is Shravan Kirtan. We don't believe this, but it is true. We think, what kind of service is this? To hear about Krishna or to speak his name. There is no concrete service here. But we are foolish. That is actual service because Krishna wants that. So when Raya Ramananda came to that point, that you give up all these inductive processes and you just hear Harikatha from pure devotee, wherever you are, and whatever position, anything, you hear with faith about Krishna and regulate your life for the service of Krishna, that Harikatha will regulate you. That is actually pure devotional service, Jnana Shunya Bhakti. Not Jnana Mishra Bhakti, but Jnana Shunya, without any Jnana. Then Mahaprabhu was satisfied. Yes, this is what I came to give. I came to give Sadhu Sangha, from whom you will hear about Krishna and you will chant about Krishna. That is actual service. And that will satisfy me. And those who are doing this, somehow they will also maintain their life for the sake of this. So their job will also become one kind of devotion when it is in favor or assisting their Shravan Kirtan. This I read verse. Then, O Arjuna, if you follow my advice, you will perfectly be a sannyasin of Nishkama Karma Yoga. You will be freed from the bonds of action, good or bad. Yes. You will be freed from the bonds of action, good or bad, resulting from fighting. Thus liberated and harmonized by Nishkama Karma Yoga, you shall attain me. That is to say, realize all truths about me. Gradually, he can realize everything by this. because that is his eligibility, and this is for gradual advancement. But there is also direct possible by the grace of sadhu, that is given by Mahaprabhu, because he is most munificent form of Godhead. So directly he is taking us to Jnana Shunya Bhakti. You hear about Krishna and speak about Krishna. And by hearing and speaking about Krishna, automatically remembrance will come. And this is the purpose of everything. The root cause of all problem is forgetfulness of Krishna. And remembrance of Krishna is our eternal welfare and service to him. Now, this verse is also very important. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayi teteshu chapyaham. I am the same to all beings, from the highest to the lowest. So I have neither foe nor friend. But those who worship me with loving devotion dwell in me, and I dwell in them. Explanation. Mysterious are my ways. I am the same to all beings, having neither foe, enemy, nor friend. In them I dwell, and they in me, who are lovingly devoted to me. As the Supreme Lord, I know no favoritism or communalism, as I am the same to all beings, from the highest to the lowest. But it is my special characteristic that I love them who love me ardently and sincerely. Our Gurudev explained this verse many times. As sun gives light to all, indiscriminately, to all. Sun is not giving more to Indians and less to Americans. He is giving same to all. But those who take advantage of the sun, they will get. It is not that Krishna is picking up. They are my friends, I am giving. No. Krishna is equal to all. He has no frenemy, no end. But those who will submit to him, those who will serve him, they are for Krishna, Gurudev told, they are engaging all their senses and mind and intellect and real self for the service of Krishna, knowing that they belong to him, they are of him, they are for Krishna, they are working for Krishna. So Krishna is also for them. Like we are saying, why Krishna blessed Dhruva but he's not blessing me? Krishna is equal to all. But you are not doing what Dhruva did. That is why you are not getting that grace. You are blocking, not that Krishna is picking up to whom to give grace. No. Even in Vedanta Sutra, this is very clearly asked and answered. There, that verse is there, that whom Krishna will choose, he will reveal himself. So we may understand it, okay, I did not get the grace, that person got the grace, I did not, because Krishna chose like that. But the point is next, the question is that he is choosing or there is something. Then they say, whom Krishna will choose? One who will surrender to him, Krishna will choose him. The point of choosing is that no one can attain Krishna without his will. He has to be willing to reveal himself to that person. This is point made in that verse. That you cannot get him by your own will, by force. No, he has to reveal. But Krishna is not also picking up. He is revealing himself to the person who submits to him. So here also Krishna says, I am equal to all. If you will do like Dhruva, you will also get. Okay, you are not Indian like Dhruva, you are from Slovenia, that doesn't matter. I will not favor Indians and not Slovenians. No. The thing is, if you will do as Dhruva, he gave up all hostile mentality to everyone in this world, knowing they are not the cause of my misery. I am the cause. They are only instrumental. Krishna is giving the fruit. So if I can do this as Dhruva did, then immediately Krishna will protect me from all ferocious animals or anyone. But I'm not doing, but complaining and blaming Krishna. You are blessing Dhruva, not me. You are partial. You have enemies and friends. Because Dhruva is Indian, you are blessing him and not blessing me. That is all false. Krishna says here, I have no enemy, no friend. Those who worship me, I will give them. Whoever will submit. Like we hear also, Jashoda, when she was binding Krishna, there was always 2 fingers less. What? Why? Because one is his grace, another is our sincere effort to serve. Both must be there, from our side and from his side. So because Jashoda was sincerely trying to serve Krishna and not giving up, steadfastly she was trying, not giving up, then Krishna allowed himself to be bound and she got. Like that, if we give our sincere effort to serve Krishna, then he will grace us. But if we do nothing, then why he will grace us? Or if we do proudly, I do sadhana with such mentality that I will do this much and Krishna will be forced to come, then that is not sincere service. That by that kind of proud sadhana, also you cannot attract the grace of Krishna. Sincere sadhana, for his satisfaction we have to do with humbleness, then Krishna will be pleased and he will bless us. He is equal to all. So he's not partial or discriminatory. If we see he's partial to the, because they are worshipping him. Natural reciprocation. And Krishna is compassionate to all jivas. He wants to grace all jivas and he is making this arrangement for us who are deviated. We are actually offenders to Krishna. We did not want to serve him. We wanted to enjoy this world. So Krishna also had to give us. Okay, you enjoy. Out of weakness, he had to fulfill our desire. But at the same time, he also made arrangement that we can understand that this is wrong. By the fruits he's giving us through lessons, and also he's giving us chance that we can knowingly or unknowingly do some service to him in this world, and gathering sukriti. When that is accumulated, then we get enough discrimination to understand that what is our mistake and what is real, our real benefit, what is right action. He's giving us this chance to realize this. And he's sending sadhus to explain to us and give us the way how to serve Krishna. This is all his mercy. Everything is his mercy. What suffering we are getting, that is his mercy. He's giving that result of our actions to realize, to get lesson that you are doing wrong action. And also, no one else is the cause of that suffering. Whatever suffering I'm getting is exclusively due to my wrong action. No one can give any suffering to me unless Krishna sanctions that fruit to be given to me for my action through that instrument. Animals, they want to eat dhruva, but they could not eat dhruva because Krishna is inside stopping them. And sometimes through good-natured person, one will get bad behavior because it is in your karma. You did such action, now that is coming to you. So if one can realize this fact and accept and give up all hostile mentality to anyone and this ignorance, then Krishna will immediately protect him. But I'm not doing this, so why I will get same result as Dhruva? I'm thinking I wanted to get this happiness, but that person, because of that person, he blocked my happiness. I have some desire to enjoy some worldly things, then some person is not accepting that or something there, so I think he's the cause of my suffering. So I have to kill him or change him or whatever, because he's the cause of my suffering. But I'm not realizing that the mistake is in me. I'm having wrong desires, and also in past I did such actions that I have to get such a result. So this we have to realize. Then we can advance in devotion. Otherwise, Gurudev said you can never get realization of Bhagavan as long as you keep this ignorance of blaming others. Not possible. Forget it. You cannot get. So this we have to realize, practice again and again, and think deeply and chant sincerely. Then such vision, such realization may come. Then also very famous verse, apichet sudura charo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadur eva samantabhya samyak vyavasito hi saha. Though a man of very bad conduct, he who worships me and me alone with unswerving faith and single-minded devotion and love shall be considered a sadhu, that is to say, a saint, because he is well resolved and has resorted to the path of righteousness. Explanation. Wherefore his mission of life is single-minded service of the Lord, he is to be regarded as a sadhu. Though there might be some foreign elements in his conduct, but they will soon be dispelled by the grace of God and by association with the sadhus. The term sudurachara should be clearly understood. Conduct that guides the life of a fallen soul is of two kinds, viz. External and internal. All conducts of life, such as purity, piety, partaking of nutritious diet, etc., in regard to the physical, mental, and social amelioration, are said to be external or relative, while those that are conducive to the realization of self and of Godhead are said to be internal or unmixed function of self proper. In conditioned state, an inevitable relation exists between the external and the internal conduct of life. The external conduct cannot be ignored even when the unalloyed devotional service forms an integral part of a man's life. All kinds of ills, wrong predilections, prejudices, and doubts vanish as soon as pure devotion is awakened in the heart. Relishing love for Sri Krishna increases in proportion as the affinity for minded relativities decreases. Unless and until this sankar, again this, of worldly affinity is fully eradicated from the heart, evil conduct is apt to commit its forcible entry into frail humanity, but it is soon curbed down by the loving aptitude for Sri Krishna. The activities of the devotees of the higher order are really praiseworthy and wholesome in all respects. But if perchance any evil conduct of serious type, such as adultery, larceny, or malice, to which a true devotee is always averse, be found to creep in the life of a sadhu, it will ere long be destroyed by the purifying influence of bhakti. Irreligious conduct in eating and drinking, coupled with other habits, may characterize a man's life prior to his initiation by the Sadguru, but that is no reason why he should not be taken into account as a sadhu when he worships the Supreme Lord with undeviated mind and soul. Even a moral leper may turn into a saint, provided he steadfastly follows the path of pure bhakti and craves the mercy of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and his ardent devotees to get rid of those evils. Today there is no time. Tomorrow we will hear explanation more about this verse. Api chet suduracharo. If one devotee who is not worshipping anyone except Krishna sometimes does something wrong due to pressure of previous bad habits, he should not be censured or behaved harshly with him, because he will repent for this. And he is rightly resolved. His only goal in life is the service of Krishna. And he is practicing, he is trying. And he is praying to Krishna to forgive him for this. And gradually and very soon he will become pure. So Krishna prohibits that we should give much importance on those things. We should give importance on this, that he is a sadhu. We should see the good quality in him, that he is worshipping Krishna. But if we behave harshly with some drawbacks there, then Krishna will be displeased. It is like when one child is trying to walk, mother is encouraging him, but I always say, oh, again he fall down, very bad, he's always falling down, all this. But he's not seeing that he's trying to walk, and mother is encouraging, and gradually he will walk. But I always try to put emphasis on those drawbacks which are there still in his progressive stage. So that will be also one kind of offense. Krishna will be displeased and will block our progress. So, right motive. Gurudev also sees drawbacks, and he also rectifies and warns us about our drawbacks and chastises everything. But he's doing with love for our good in an appropriate way to help us with sympathy, with love. But if we have some other motive to increase my pride, then that will be detrimental. So tomorrow we will hear more, and there is another explanation also here to this verse. It is very important. We'll hear tomorrow.